Now, Camille and I came from different places. I came from Houston and she from southern Louisiana, but we had a shared interest. We both wanted to be, well, we wanted to be actors and to be involved in the theater in some way. And almost from the first day, we became involved in building sets, and trying out for plays, and all the stuff you do around the theater. We developed friendships with each other and the eclectic bunch of people who hung out there. Countless hours in rehearsals, on and off stage, training, learning. And you know, when you spend that much time together day after day in production, well, you create a pretty strong bond.
The same connections that many of you have already created while in class, or on fraternity row, or over at the Gold Dome, or on the soccer field, or perhaps participating in the summer research program that you have here, or competing in the annual Healthy Kids Fun Run.
Cheering the ladies and gents who made all summit leagues in basketball, gymnastics, softball, and baseball last year, or performing with the choir, or in one of the great shows at the Marjorie Lyons Playhouse, or maybe just hanging out in the sub where you talk and you study and gripe about what's going on in your life, or what's happening in the future, or the classes you're taking and not doing well in.
And
I speak from experience on this.
like you, Locke and I met some fascinating people here.
Yeah, we sure did. My best friend was a guy named Craig Gardner, and he came from Florida. He was a surfer. How do you come to Centenary? But nevertheless, Craig is now in Maui, and he's a writer. And there was a fellow named Gary Korn who'd been in the Air Force at Barksdale during the Cuban Missile Crisis, where he worked on B-52 bombers. Now, Gary was older, which was very attractive to us when we were 18 or 19. He lived off campus, which was even better. In addition to being a really smart guy, he could make almost anything with his hands, which was a very handy trait in the theater. Or many of my KA brothers who taught me valuable life lessons like the wonders of beer, the best places to party at Lake Bistineau, or the best one, how to build a 12-inch deep pool in the front yard of the KA house for the annual jungle party.
Actually, we still have a core group of theater friends from Centenary that we graduated with that we still see. We keep in touch with them through emails and Christmas cards, and every 3 or 4 years we get together and have a reunion and get to see each other. Sometimes we take vacations. So forgive me, but Irene, Michael, Rick, Bobby Sue, Cloppy, Gail, John, Gary, and Shay, we love you. Our common interests brought us together, specifically our passion for the theater. And while we have taken a few side steps along the way, the skills and strategies we learned here continue to serve us in our personal and our professional lives.
As Dr. Schwab said, I formed my company really, actually it was 1973, in the backyard. It didn't take off really until the 80s, though, when Camille came on board. People keep reminding me that that's significant, although I'm not sure it is. Since then, as he said, we've jointly owned and operated Locke Bryan Productions, and we do commercials and corporate training films and kind of all sorts of different audiovisual things. And Camille runs the day-to-day operations, and she does marketing, and she basically runs the business.
And Locke is an award-winning film and video director with a list of clients from all over the United States. He has directed actors, athletes, politicians, and presidents, such names as Bill Clinton, George Bush, Hakeem Olajuwon, Anwar Sadat, Rosalind Carter, Tony Curtis, and my favorite, Kermit the Frog.
Mine too, actually.
He's filmed them all and many more. And right now we're working on a project for Academy Sports and Outdoors with their NASCAR driver, Bobby Labonte, and racing phenom, Carl Edwards.
And you know, while the work is very stressful, I love what I do. And that's something that I hope every one of you will remember as you continue your journey both in and out of college. Find something you truly love, something you truly want to do, then stick to it and do it. And believe me, we've had missteps along the way. We've had some very, very lean financial years and some near misses. But we know we're supposed to be doing this. It feels right. So we keep on and we continue to find success.
Locke and I credit our liberal arts education. I want to say that again. Locke and I credit our liberal arts education and the faculty of Centenary for our ability to find happiness and success in a sometimes difficult and changing world. Of course, I don't have to tell you, you know this already. The faculty at this school is the best of the best. We want to They do more than teach academics. They take an interest in each student, challenging us, demanding more, continually raising the bar, and giving us the confidence and encouragement to succeed. Now, I know you each have your own favorites.
And 40 years later, we can still remember the names of those who changed our lives. For me, it was Ruth Alexander who got me involved in Reader's Theater and challenged me to do better. And Robert Busick, who showed me what directing was all about. And Kip Holloway, who taught set design and theater history and other courses and had the best stories. And oh yes, there was Dr. Bryant Davidson, who was already old as God at the time. And you have to remember, at that time you could smoke in the class, so we all did. And so did Dr. Davidson. He chain-smoked unfiltered cigarettes. Now to look at him, you wouldn't have thought much, but when he spoke, he made his subject come alive.
Okay, I may cry again. Lee Morgan and Earl Labor taught us to write. Dr. Waters taught us biology. Dr. Shaw introduced us to rocks. Webb Pomeroy opened our souls and gave us faith. And Betty Spears, bless her heart, she gave me extra credit for homework so I could pass calculus. Thank you. And we can't leave out Dr. Virginia Carlton. Oh, she was just a wonderful, wonderful teacher. She taught us that math is fun. And then she fascinated us with her stories about traveling all over the world and teaching children math in Africa.
You know, I also had Dr. Carlton. I took a course called Math for Non-Majors. Shouldn't be too difficult. I enjoyed the class, and I really enjoyed Dr. Carlton, but it was a 750, so I rarely went. In the end, this was not a smart move for me. Camille was, of course, always on the right track, and I was pretty headstrong and defiant, and I'm sure some of you can identify with that. But our years here gave us things that have stayed with us all of our lives. And as we've gone through the process of writing this speech and thinking about our time here, we've looked back at our youth and the times that shaped it. When I look into this group of seniors, I see you all looking forward to a future that's full of promise. Now, the beauty of college in general and Centenary specifically is that as good as the times are here, they are not the best in your life, because the best is yet to come. In fact, as I've gone through my life, I've found that the best is always what's next. However, the time you spend here is one of the most memorable of your life. It's the first time many of you are away from your parents. It's a time when you're on your own, really allowed to think and do as you please, but without the weight of responsibilities that will come later in your adult life. What you see here, what you learn here, who you know here, will stay with you always and be one of the main factors in who you become. So love this time, soak it in, have fun, learn both in and out of class. You'll always remember your brief stay at Centenary, and you will love and treasure the moments and friends you've made here.
In closing, we want to thank Centenary College for providing us with a place to find each other, then to learn about one another, to discover our talents,
To take risks, to struggle, to fail,
to succeed and soar.
to experience a world of opportunity while creating lifelong memories and friendships.
We are so honored to be here with you today, celebrating Founders Day.
So here's to the Centenary students, the faculty, the maintenance, administration, trustees, and alumni who share such fondness and gratitude for this amazing place.
The French writer and aviator Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, "To love is not to look at one another, but to look together in the same direction."
May we look together toward peace and prosperity for all. Thanks very much, and have a great day.